continues to live by and spread the Christian values you instilled in him. My name is Val O'Dea, and I have the pleasure of volunteering with Mark in the western suburbs of Chicago for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. The mission of the society is to cure blood cancers, namely leukemia, lymphoma, and myeloma, and support patients and their families. Doesn't that want to stay? Mark is absolutely passionate about finding a cure for blood cancers. His motivation and inspiration come from his family. Mark lost his mom to leukemia when he was just a junior in high school, and a few years later, he lost his young sister to cancer as well. Mark is in a unique position to motivate and affect change. He's a certified volunteer marathon coach with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's Team in Training program. Team in Training is the world's largest endurance training program. It was the groundbreaking charity sports program, and I'm very proud to say that since its inception in 1988, volunteer coaches such as Mark have trained over 420,000 participants from newbies to seasoned athletes to complete an endurance event and have raised $1 billion. Mark's role at Team in Training is threefold. He's a dedicated coach, and when he's not coaching, he's a dedicated participant, and he's always a tireless fundraiser. So the way it works is participants raise funds for blood cancer research, and then they receive the training they need to complete their endurance event. And as a coach, the season begins with Mark presenting at local information sessions that talk about his own story and what participants can expect if they sign up. Next, Mark attends the kickoff party. It's to celebrate and to reassure his new team. Yes, you signed up for a marathon. No, you're not crazy. Well, all right, maybe you're a little crazy, but together we can do this. Training takes place on Saturday mornings and Wednesday nights for about 5 to 6 month season. We always begin our trainings with a mission moment, and that's the most special time of the training. We basically have people come up and speak, and we talk about remembering the reasons. Remembering the reasons we're out on the course, raising funds, and why we're putting ourselves through this. During the season, Mark answers countless emails, infinite emails, questions, phone calls, provides support on the training course, and he gives advice, encouragement, hand-holding, and tear drying to help participants achieve their fundraising and marathon goals. It is this individualized attention that Mark provides which makes the Team in Training journey life-changing, unforgettable, incredible. Team in Training has a 99.9% success rate, and most participants will tell us that besides marrying their spouse and having their children, being part of Team in Training has been the most amazing experience of their life, and Mark makes this so. Mark cares deeply about his team, and he provides all the support they need by making them believe that they can achieve this and making them believe that they are truly making a difference. And he feeds his team. Mark's specialty, peanut butter and jelly pizza. Sounds weird, it's delectable. Mark is famous for hauling his gas grills and food out to trainings from DeKalb in an unreliable Chevy Suburban several times a year for the breakfast extravaganza known as Grills Gone Wild. It's a celebration that brings teammates, alumni, and our special patient honorees together. Mark also orchestrates our memorial bonfires, from weenie roast through s'mores, so that we can come together and honor those who have lost their battles with blood cancer. Please note, marathon training is not a weight loss program. On marathon day, Mark is on the course with his participants. Anyone in purple, Mark grabs them. He connects with them, he runs with them back and forth the whole day. And when he finally ends up at mile 25, which is almost the end of the race, he's dressed in some crazy getup. My personal favorite is the pirate costume, and he's cheering the participants one final time. This is a very physically and emotionally exhausting day for the participants as well as the coach. And Mark will log way more than 26.2 miles that day, and all with a smile on his face. Mark is a participant. He's run so many marathons, I don't even know if anyone's counting. Are you counting? All over the country. But his favorite is his annual Indy Mini Half Marathon, which finishes on the racetrack. I personally think Mark is channeling his inner Indy driver on that one. Recently, Mark raised funds and ran the Honolulu Marathon in glorious Hawaii in the pouring rain. And this spring, he's fundraising and he plans to run the marathon in Paris. That's not Paris, Illinois. As a tireless fundraiser, Mark has raised over $53,000 on his own for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. He has a lot of different methods of fundraising, but his craziest endeavor, each spring after months of collecting donated items, refinishing old furniture, and yes, garbage picking, Mark hosts the biggest thing in DeKalb, Save for NIU, his charity garage sale, which raises upwards of $4,000 to benefit the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. In our western suburban market, our motto is, West is best. Isn't that clever? Mark came up with that. And we say out there, West is best, not because it rhymes, but because it's true. And we are the best, largely due to having Mark on our team. Team in Training would never be as special or successful as it is without the love that your alum, Mark Gregory, puts into it. We are getting closer to a cure for blood cancers 1 mile at a time. Thank you, Mark. And I'm reminded of a quote from Hebrews, "Run with perseverance the race marked out for you." This is Mark Gregory to a T. Congratulations on your award, Mark.
Thank you very much. It's quite an honor to be up here. Like we're talking about, Judson's changed so much. I always think of it as JC's too. And I want to thank, of course, my family for supporting me. And I'll give you a little story about garage sales with my lovely wife in a moment. But I want to thank especially my father, Walt Gregory, and Dr. Ryder, who helped me get through school. Always said, college education is so important. And I know that someone mentioned that Judson didn't have good athletics. When I was in school in the dark ages of '73, we won conference in soccer and went to the NAIA playoffs. So we were good that year. But unfortunately, I broke my leg the week before the playoffs, and I didn't get to go. And I was in the hospital for 6.5 weeks because I had a compound fracture and the bones were infected. Well, I want to tell you, if you've ever been in the hospital for any length of time, you never have too many visitors. I had a lot of classmates, and professors and family, but one thing I could always rely on was Dr. Ryder. For 6.5 weeks, he was there every day, but 2 days when he had meetings packed and couldn't make it. So thank you, Doc. I really appreciate that. Another thing, I lived in DR Hall, which Professor Shea was there as my dorm parent with his wife. Also, Professor Shea also. Amazing how that works, right? But anyway, I was going to school. I paid for my education as being a cook at Ponderosa. And I'd always give out free meals to anyone to type a paper for me so I wouldn't have to do it because they didn't have the computers back then. But one time when I was a freshman, we got steaks from Ponderosa at a discounted price. And we had a steak cookout at DR Hall. And the Shays and some of the other people in our residence hall had a steak dinner. And unfortunately, the people in Ohio and Volkman weren't very happy, but the rest of the guys were quite happy with the ribeye steak dinners. But anyway, how I got into Team and Train was kind of a weird thing. I used to play soccer, and of course I played drop-in soccer at the YMCA. And I just couldn't keep up with all those young guys who were 30 and younger. It was a co-ed drop-in, and I was huffing and puffing, couldn't keep up with them. I thought, maybe I should start running. So I did. And after a while, my brother Mike was kind of my mentor as a runner. He goes, hey, I'm going to run a 5K, would you like to join me? And he's done marathon and some half marathons. I said, that'd be great. And I went there, I was a little nervous, he gave me some tips, and we went out and we ran the race, and I actually beat him. And I thought, this is great. You know, beat your younger brother. Of course, he did have a handicap. He was recovering from a stress fracture, but I don't care, I still beat him. But anyway, so I did that and I ran a lot of 5Ks and 10Ks that year, and I thought, well, I want a bigger challenge. And even my father, while he ran the half marathon with Mike, you know, several times in Indianapolis where we grew up, and I thought, geez, it'd be great to run that event. But it was closed out when I went to sign up for it. And I was reading Runner's World magazine, and it was talking about how you can sign up with closed out events through charity groups. I read about Team and Train and how it was for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and my mom passed away from leukemia when she was 38. I thought, what a great way to honor my mother, you know, run in my hometown, within 2 blocks of my house, you know, for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And right then I knew that that was God's will, you know, plan, and that's what I decided to do. And it's been kind of history since then, and I've run 11 marathons, 18 half marathons, and still going. And like Val said, I've raised $53,000, and I've done it through letters, campaign letters I sent out to people. And after the first year, I thought I wanted to really kind of kick things up, and I started this garage sale thing. And I've never done a garage sale, and if anyone has, they probably know it's a lot of work. And I thought, well, okay, I'll research on the internet, and I checked some friends, and so I started out doing this thing, and it rained, and it was cool, and it was October, but it was $1,600. Not bad for 3 days. You know, all it went off to cancer research. And I've done it every year since then, in April and May, and it's just grown and grown. And the last 2 years, it's been over $4,000 for a garage sale. That's quite a bit of merchandise. As you might guess, my wife doesn't have gray hair. Well, maybe she does. She could die. I don't know. But it probably gets more gray when it gets close to garage sale time. And she works in the psychiatry department, and they've suggested she go to the Bahamas for 4 weeks when it gets near garage sale time, because I have so much merchandise. It's in my shop, which is the size of a 2-car garage, in the 2-car garage, in the basement, on the back porch, and it creeps up into the dining room. So we kind of really run out of living space. And it took 2 days to put all the merchandise out prior to the sale this year in 4 10-by-20 tents. So, but it's a big thing, and I refinish all these antiques, and I drive all over hundreds of miles to pick up stuff. So if anyone's got some good garage sale stuff, I'll go and get it. Although don't let her know. So and the weather never seems to really cooperate. You know, it's always raining or high winds. This year I had both. I had rain and high winds because I had these 4 10-by-20 tents, and all 4 of them blew over due to the high winds. But I still continued on, and you know, my son and his girlfriend Nikki, you know, and my dad are always out there. Mike's never takes off. He's got to work. And Pam usually works during the day. But you know, so we continued on, and we got through it. And we had another great day, and people have always been so supportive, and I sure appreciate it. And one day, hopefully, we won't be having to raise money for cancer, and I'm sure that Nick's going to continue on that great work, and we appreciate that. But as far as myself and other runners, we're going to keep running mile after mile to save everyone's lives. So thank you very much.